Welcome to Capital Hoops Live here on DMV Stream. I apologize for not being on the same night every week. The schedule's been a little chaotic lately with games being played on Monday nights. So I've been on the last couple of weeks on Wednesdays. This week I'm on Tuesday. But hopefully starting next week I should be on starting every Monday night again. Before we get started with this week's show, just want to read this. DMVSTREAM.COM broadcasts pro, amateur, college, athlete, AAU, and youth games in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. You can access these on your televisions, computers, and your smartphones. For more information, go to DMVSTREAM.COM. All right, folks, it's been a very chaotic day here in the DMV with high school basketball. As I'm sure most of you know, the Crime Stopper, Akil Carr, has hinted that he will be foregoing college at Seton Hall to go start his professional career overseas. He wrote a bunch of tweets last night and this morning discussing just that. After talking to a handful of people, it looks like the door's open for him. Apparently, he's got multiple offers from different countries, different continents. A lot of people had hinted that China was going to be his ultimate destination. I'm hearing that may not be a lock. There are multiple countries in Europe who are, beginning to put offers together. A lot of countries didn't know that Akil was planning on jumping ship and playing professionally overseas. So now they've got to put in their due diligence, put in their work, and try to figure out if he would be a good fit for their team, if he can sell tickets, if, there's a lot of components that go into it. So as far as from Akil's camp, this Saturday at Princeton Day, Akil is planning on having, I guess, what you would call a press conference. He's going to inform everyone of what exactly his plan is, or exactly what his plan is that he knows of up to this point. I'm sure there's not any certainty, but I'm sure he'll fill in the main questions that everyone wants to know. Do you have an agent? What offers are on the table right now? What are your options? When are you leaving? Are you leaving now, or are you waiting till next fall? So these are all questions that myself and everyone else who has, been reading and been kind of following the situation. These are questions that we all would like to know the answers to, and he plans to address these at Princeton Day this Saturday. I'm not exactly sure on the time. I will tweet that out when I find out exactly, but, we wish him the very best. It's been a rocky last year for him, but, there's no denying he's a phenomenal basketball player, and he's always defied the odds. I mean, he's always been very small, yet he led the D.C. metro area in scoring this year and led Baltimore in scoring for the 3 years prior to that. And, he may be a volume shooter, but, to go into the trees, into the 6'5", 6'6", 6'8" guys, and to be able to score, I think his career average is around 28.5 points a game. To be able to do that for 150 games spanning 4 years is pretty remarkable, especially when you're playing in, arguably one of the best counties in the country. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best, but, I would put it in the top 10 or 15. I mean, Baltimore City, no nights off. It's a very competitive league. And so we wish Akil the best. Next week, I will definitely have follow-up on what exactly has transpired between now and then. So that's the latest on Akil. Moving on, there were 2 games Capital Hoops followed this week. We went out to the Maryland 4A West Regional Championship, where Magruder played Quince Orchard. Magruder had already beaten Quince Orchard twice during the regular season, so no one was surprised when Magruder ran away with this one. It wasn't a very competitive game, but we do have highlights from that game, and as you watch these highlights, you'll be watching, one of the teams that will be represented at the Comcast Center at University of Maryland this Thursday. They play at 7 o'clock. So this is a little highlight package of Magruder and Quince Orchard in the 4A West Regional Championship.
Number 5, Charles Porter. The 5'8" senior, number 3, Matt Riddis. And for the 6'3" senior, number 22, Justin Whitmer.
Well, it's a real thrill to get there. Every year you get the Comcast Center. You know, so many teams don't get the opportunity to do that. For us to do it 3 years in a row with these seniors, especially JJ, Justin, and Nick, I'm just really happy for them because they're such team players. They work so hard. And as you can see, just like last year, I mean, we got some shooters and we're a pretty good offensive team, but we still rely on our defense, you know, and I thought that our team defense was just fantastic, you know. I mean, Quince Orchard had a great year, you know, and they really give you a lot of problems on defense, but offensively they maybe struggle at times, but our defense was just suffocating tonight. And I said I'm just really proud of the kids, the defense and the effort. I mean, you see JJ and Matt Ricketts, they just don't take off possessions. You know, they don't take off. So I'm really proud of the kids.
Well, I thought we played pretty well. On the defensive side of the ball, we had a couple turnovers, which led to easy points, but other than that, we had good help defense, and we just played a great game. Do we've been doing all season. I'm going to try to stop their best player as much as I can, and I know my teammates are going to have my back on help defense, so as long as we have help defense and we stay in front of my man, we'll be all right.
I mean, the play where I hurt my hand, I tried to shoot a pull-up, and the guy kind of took my feet from under me. And I came down to my whole right side, and kind of like a shock went through my whole hand. It's a little swollen now, but...
Oh, this is the same hand you hurt earlier this year?
Yeah, the same hand I broke.
Was it the same part of the hand?
Yeah, on the side of it. Yeah, the side of my hand.
You think you re-aggravated the injury?
Hopefully not. You know, I think it's just, you know, pretty like sprained, but I should be all right.
All right, so you guys have, 5 days off until you play again. Play again Thursday. I think in the third game on Thursday, you're playing against Poly. Yep. Your team you don't know very much about. You know a lot about Roosevelt, you know a lot about North Point. But when I say Poly, what comes to mind?
I'm not sure. Basketball players, basketball team.
Yeah. This is a school from Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know, Baltimore has a rich tradition of basketball. How do you think you're going to approach a game against a team that you don't know very much about?
I mean, just go out there and play your game and dictate the tempo. You know what I mean? And don't let them take you out of your game.
Every time a team faces us, it's competitive. We just try to focus in on defense today. And I mean, even if it comes down to late game situations, we have 8 seniors that have played significant minutes this year, so we're smart basketball players, so we should know what we're doing.
Don't want to take anyone lightly. We knew we beat QO twice in the regular season, so we just want to come out with the same energy as we did the last 2 times against them. They definitely tried to slow the game down and play at their speed, but we were still getting some of the shots that we wanted and ended up coming out on top.
All right, so that was Magruder winning the 4A West Regional Championship. That's going to segue us over to the Maryland State Championships. As we know, Magruder won. Magruder will be playing Poly of Baltimore City in the 4A semifinal on Thursday night. The other 4A semifinal is North Point and Eleanor Roosevelt. The winners of those 2 games will play for the championship Saturday night at 8 p.m. All 4 of these teams do things differently. I think Magruder may be the most complete team. They have a great point guard, a great shooting guard. They share the ball incredibly well. They don't have any crazy athletes, and they don't have any, very big players. They've got 3 6'4" guys, which, usually does the job in, in high school basketball, public sector. Roosevelt features a big guy, 6'8", Malachi Alexander, an athletic guy in Taiwan Kendley, good guard play. So they, it's really a crapshoot who's going to win this thing. If I had to put an odds-on favorite, I would say North Point is the favorite. They have been blowing teams out all year long, scoring in the 80s and 90s. They play a helter-skelter type, style where they're pressing for all 32 minutes, forcing tons of turnovers that lead into transition baskets, and I think it's going to be difficult for most teams to hang with North Point. But this is why they play the games. Whoever does win this 4A championship will have well earned it. Now we're going to look at the 4A bracket right here. You'll see Roosevelt is up here, finished the regular season 24-1. North Point had the exact same record, 24-1. Magruder 23-2, and Poly 20-6. So again, 8 o'clock is the championship. Now we're going to go to 3A. In the 3A, Potomac of PG County, Reservoir of Howard County, Urbana of Frederick County, and Milford Mill of Baltimore County are the 4 teams in the Final Four there. I think most people think Milford Mill and Potomac are the heavy favorites to get to the championship game. Who you pick in the championship game is really a crapshoot. In the 2A, we've got Calvert of Calvert County, Wacomico of Wacomico County, Oakdale of Frederick County, and Edmondson West Side of Baltimore City. I think everyone say Edmondson is the favorite in the 2A. And then lastly in the 1A, I don't know exactly how many state championships Dunbar has won in a row, but it's a lot, and they are the heaviest of all 4 favorites to win the 1A. Newtown could give them a little bit of a run for their money, but I think Dunbar's got it pretty much sealed up. Now, I did a little research here on the 16 teams who have made it to Comcast Center, and there's a little breakdown. Now, there were 17 number 1 seeds entering this tournament. In the Class 2A East, there were 2 number 1 seeds for some reason. They do districts out there instead of regions, so there were 2 number 1 seeds. So of the 17 number 1 seeds, 10 of them have advanced to the Comcast Center. 2 number 2 seeds have advanced, 2 number 3 seeds, 1 number 4 seed, that would be Edmondson, and 1 12 seed, that would be Poly. So more than half of the field, actually almost 2/3 of the field, is made up of number 1 seeds. Now, of all the teams that made it, there are 10 counties, 10 of our 24 counties in the state of Maryland are represented in the Comcast in the Final Fours for each 4 classifications. Baltimore City and Frederick County have 3 teams each represented. Baltimore City, Dunbar, Edmonton, and Poly. Frederick County, Brunswick, Oakdale, and Urbana. Baltimore County has 2 teams, Newtown and Milford Mill. And PG County has 2 teams, Eleanor Roosevelt and Potomac. Now there's 6 counties that only have 1 representative each. Montgomery County's got Magruder, Charles County's got North Point, Howard County's got Reservoir, Calvert County's got Calvert High, Wacomico has Wacomico High, and Somerset County has Washington High. So 10 of the 24 counties will be represented in this year's state finals. So a diverse group of schools, definitely. Some inner city schools, some schools out in the sticks. Basketball has no borders, so it'll definitely be interesting. Be very interesting. Again, Thursday 4 games, Friday 4 games. State championships are 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. You can find out more on the website mpssaa.org, where they break down all of the teams there. All right, transitioning to the District of Columbia. DC this year had a brand new format. They did away with the Abe Poland city title game, and they had their own tournament in DC where public and private schools entered an 8-team tournament. Now, there were some teams that were not allowed to participate in this tournament. No WCAC schools were in it, so no Gonzaga, no St. John's, no Carroll. Murray, last minute, was told they were not allowed to participate because they had a 5th-year senior on their team. So the championship, the semifinals, paired Ballou against Sidwell Friends. Everyone thought that would be a very good game. Ballou actually ran away with that game. And in the other semifinal, Coolidge, for the 4th time this year, played against Theodore Roosevelt. Now, Theodore Roosevelt had multiple players suspended from the altercation in the DCIAA championship game. so they were not at full strength. So Coolidge and Ballou won in the semifinals, and that set up last night's championship game at the Verizon Center, and we're going to show you some highlights from that now.
I shoot, swoosh, got balloons. I ball. I shoot, swoosh, got balloons. I ball.
It's just even greater, for real. Like I'm still getting over winning the DCIAA championship, and before I can get over that, I'm winning another state championship. We're the first team to ever do that, so it just gets greater. It was awesome. I never played on the Verizon Center floor ever before. I only had one opportunity one time during AAU, and we lost the round right before it. So just to play on a court where I know such great players played on, it's just a great honor.
Well, I told my coaches, I said, this never gets old. Anytime you can play in the NBA floor with this atmosphere, I think the kids that experienced last year helped them. They wasn't as bright-eyed as they were last year. And to just, to win 10, 11 games in a row and this close the season out was phenomenal.
You seem to press a lot more tonight than maybe you did during most of the regular season. What was the thought in that?
Well, I just made an adjustment. I knew Ballou was a methodical team. They like to slow it down a little bit. I saw them play against Roosevelt in the semis, and just picking up some key points on that. But I knew that their guards were a little slow, so we wanted to pressure them and push the ball, and that's what we did in the third quarter.
All right, so there you have it. Last thing I want to do here in the program, before we part ways, there are two major tournaments that are coming up here in the DMV I wanted to touch on real quick. The first one is the Alhambra tournament. This is one of the longest standing tournaments in the DMV. I think it's been going on for around 60 years. That tournament is this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Same time, unfortunately, as the Maryland State Finals at Comcast Center. I have never been to Alhambra because I'm committed to going to the University of Maryland every year. But the Alhambra tournament will take place. The 8 teams in the Alhambra tournament this year: Benedictine College Prep, St. Francis out of Baltimore, Gonzaga, O'Connell, DeMatha, Mount St. Joe's out of Baltimore, and then Bishop Walsh and La Lumiere round out the 8 teams. And it's really a wide open tournament. Everyone is obviously familiar with the 6 schools around here that are in it, but La Lumiere is a very good program. La Lumiere came to DC, I believe. I want to say they were in the Gonzaga DC Classic a couple years ago. I know I saw them in DC a couple years ago. Can't exactly remember what that event was. And then the last event, the last tournament of the year, the ESPN Rise NHSI Championships that are held at Georgetown Prep today, came out with the teams that will be participating in this year's event. And here they are: Findlay Prep, Montverde, Prime Prep, a first-year school out of Dallas, Texas, who's 36-0, St. Benedict's Prep, La Lumiere, again, will be playing in Alhambra and will be playing in this. Balanche Eli from Florida, they were in this tournament either last year or the year before. Oak Hill will be here this year. They couldn't participate last year. I believe they were in China. And the staple, the team that's always in this tournament, Montrose Christian. So you've got 7 schools, 8 schools ranked in the ESPN Top 25 who will be participating in this event. It's always an incredible event. All the games are shown on ESPN or ESPNU, so that'll be a great way to cap off another wonderful season. I hope everyone has a great time if you're going out to Comcast Center this weekend. Should be fantastic basketball, as it always is. Send me a tweet if you're going out there. If you have any questions, say what's up to me if you see me out there. And we'll see you next week, next Monday, and we'll have recaps of all the state championship games. Until next week, this is Marc Stern, president of Capital Hoops.